A good day to you all, a good day to every resident, a good day to every non-resident. You're of course welcome to this wonderful and new series. Of course, we are choosing to call it the Forest Legends series because right now we are dealing with the indigenous trees of Kenya. I believe now you can see me. I am your host, I am your educator, I am your researcher, I am your top guy, top tour guide guy here at the Nairobi Arboretum, of course situated here in the city. I am your one and only guy, Kenya African to the world, 254 to the world. Of course, allow me to start this conversation. Of course, I have a flu, but that is not supposed to hinder us from continuing with our endeavor here. Allow me and allow us to move forward with this narration. Okay, now our number 6 tree, of course we've covered about 5 indigenous trees in the Forest Legends series. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Follow, keep yourself updated. This information is useful even for future purposes. Of course, follow your one and only Kenya African across all social media platforms. Yes, so our number 6 tree, having covered the top 5 according to the Kenya African Nairobi Arboretum database, is going to be a unique one. Okay, I know right now if you're watching this from somewhere and maybe you're seated inside a house, the chair you're sitting in, okay, think about it, just look at it. Okay, that chair involves and has so many components from different tree species. I know you didn't know that. Okay, if you are looking at your house, okay, most interior finishes that has been done involve certain tree species. Okay, if you have a kid or if you have a toy that you might use, or maybe your kid uses, and maybe a particular part of that toy is wood, that wood, okay, comes from a particular source of tree. And mind you, now I believe right now will be the appropriate time to introduce our number 6 tree, called the Brachyllina hulensis. Okay, sit down with me here before we take a look at this beautiful tree that I'm telling you is called Brachyllina hulensis. Okay, of course that is the global scientific name, what it's known by, Brachyllina hulensis. It is the tree that I'm telling you has its uses, mostly known for carving, and by carving I also mean art. Yes, now we are headed into understanding the local names of this tree. Okay, we can start of course with the English name. Its English name is silver oak. Of course it is among the oaks. Oaks have quite good timber. Okay, and this particular type of oak called silver oak, also called Brachyllina hulensis, also called mohogo in Kikuyu, also called mohoho in Kiswahili. Now those two terms, the Kikuyu and Swahili terms for this tree, okay, the mohoho and the mohogo, they seem pretty alike but they're not. Okay, so you understand this mohogo Kikuyu and the mohoho Kiswahili. This is the tree that I want us to talk about. This is our number 6 tree. Of course, I'm seated somewhere close to them, of course, but the trees behind me, the living organisms behind me, the natural heritage behind me is of course known as the common bamboos. This is just one of the many hotspots, okay, that we have, that you can just come and sit here alone in silence, do your thing. Come here with your partner if you have a partner, and get to enjoy the silence of our trees. Feel the cool air, Feel the breeze around. What else will one ask for? Yes, let's move on now. I want us to get to understand this tree. This tree I'm telling you I'm calling, or is known as Brachyllina hulensis. Some of the common features in order to observe this tree, of course, are the leaves. You are going to understand that the leaf is glossy green on top, okay? And when you turn the other side, the underneath of the leaf, it is silvery to whitish, okay? Of course, you can compare it to the Croton megalocarpus leaf, but this one is quite silvery, okay? So what am I saying? When you are looking at a green leaf, okay, a glossy green leaf on top, and then underneath it has a silvery to whitish color, and most prominently you are going to find densely populated hairs, if you want to call them like that. Yes, from the underneath side. So if you dare to spot this from the leaf you are observing, then most probably you are looking at a leaf from a muhogo tree. That is how specific we can get into observing this tree. Of course, we can go into the bark. The bark is light gray to grayish, okay? It is, of course, fissured. I was to say the wrong word there again. It is, of course, fissured, but it is fissured. How am I to say it? It is fissured. Of course, as the tree matures, it gets fissured, but its fissure is not horizontal, okay? If I might say it correctly, if I'm observing right, it has a longitudinal fissure, okay? And these fissures are usually narrow, okay? So they are narrow, and sometimes they also peel off, yes, when mature. This tree is widely known and has been widely known in Kenya, even amongst the Kikuyus themselves, for its wood, okay? Most trees are actually known for its wood, but I told you they are the best woods, okay? They are the best trees to get the best types of wood from. Of course, this type of wood from the muhogo tree is very durable, okay? Is very durable, yes, and it has a very, very fine texture, okay? A texture that one would want to use when making art or carving something. Yeah. What do I mean? If I was to say carve an elephant or a rhino from wood, of course I would choose from which tree I'd get my sample wood from. And here I am to tell you that the right tree to get your sample from back then would have been the muhogo tree. These days, of course, due to conservation matters, we don't advocate for the felling of these trees. Why? Because since long ago, people identified this tree because of its fine texture wood and very durable wood, just as I have told you, okay? These specific qualities distinguish the tree itself, so that one can be able to say, I need wood from silver oak. Why? Because that tree has pretty good wood, pretty durable wood. Yes, so amongst the many trees that we have, even amongst the many prolific wood givers that we have, this tree was essential for providing joinery parts, essential for making finished products and finished fine textured products like furniture, finished construction works, finished interior designs, etc. Of course, right now we are headed into getting the exact observation features from this tree. We have around 200 trees from this species we call the muhogo, the silver oak, the Brachyllina hulensis. Yeah, and I literally mean it. We have a lot of these trees here, but most of them are not mature. Now, in order to be able to identify a mature Brachyllina hulensis, you can of course spot it from its crown and the diameter of its trunk. Now, for most woodworkers and for most art people, for most people who know how to carve wood into finished products, okay, they prefer small diameter wood. What do I mean by small diameter wood? When you're actually characterizing a tree according to its maturity, I remember I once mentioned that in order to understand how a tree is old, in order to understand the age of the tree, sometimes we also measure the diameter of the tree, because that tree starts small, okay, the trunk starts small and then grows wide eventually with time. Now this one, muhogo or a Brachyllina hulensis, silver oak. Now this brings us to our matters. Why is it important to conserve such a tree? It is important to conserve and to prevent felling of such trees, because hey, we have to find ways of how to live with ourselves, even ways of how to live with ourselves while ensuring we do not destroy the lives of other living organisms around us. What do I mean? I mean that we have to find uses that do not necessarily mean that we have to fell these trees so that we can get direct uses from them. Okay, you don't have to fell a Brachyllina hulensis to be able to get that direct income from selling the wood. No, that's wrong. We have to move from that old thinking into the new age. Okay, we have to think about carbon storage. We have to think about the filtration of the air and the purification of the air. We have to think about everything. Everything has to be put into consideration. Okay, yes, of course I want us to observe, walk with me as we try and spot some of these Brachyllina hulensis sample trees that we do have here at the Nairobi Arboretum. I remind you once again, you are watching Forest Legends by Kenya African. Okay, so do not forget to subscribe, hit that like button, subscribe once again, follow the Kenya African channel. Of course, let us continue to build the Forest Legends documentary and series together. This tree grows wide. Okay, you are going to spot its open canopy. Okay, you're also going to spot its bark, the way I've told you. You're also going to spot the leaves. Okay, just be keen to observe. Okay, yes, we have one here, a pretty tall one, I believe. Let me try and zoom in. Yeah, a pretty tall one, but of course you can see the leaves from here. I mean, if I can spot the leaves from here, then of course you can spot, because the underneath part is pretty visible, pretty silvery. Of course you can see it. Yes, that one is one. It's one of the trees that I'm telling you about. Okay, the muhogo, the silver oak, the Brachyllina hulensis. Okay, let us continue. Let us continue looking for more of this Brachyllina hulensis. We have most trees here are okay. Where we are headed, we have older trees, almost their maturity ages, but not yet there. You're going to spot a lot of these trees here, and of course just want you to look at the back. Look at the back of that tree, even from afar. Look at the back of that tree. Try and compare that back with this back. Do you see the difference? Completely different. Compare those two trees. This back, compare this back from that back. Of course, we are headed there to that Brachyliana hulensis tree. Okay? Yes, we are headed there. This is our tree. Okay, you can look at the back the way I was telling you. Of course, it is light gray to grayish. Okay, let me try and zoom out. You can see it is fissured, of course, but it is fissured longitudinally. Okay, you can see the skin or the skin or the back. It feels it has a pretty rough texture. Okay, this from what I'm feeling. Of course, it is fissured longitudinally, and of course it peels. Okay, but it also peels narrowly. Sorry, it peels narrowly according to the fissures that we have. So let us try and maybe peel one. The tree behind me in its expanse. Okay, and the leaves, of course, you can spot them, but they are pretty far. I'm trying to look for a shorter one where we can observe the leaves. Yes, that is the tree that I was telling you about. That is the tree we are calling Brachyliana hulensis, our number 6 tree. Okay, it had many uses, okay, including helping regulate for diabetes. Okay, yes, but the most common use, the most known use for that tree, for the muhogo tree, is what? Yes, is the wood, because it is known to give quality wood that can be carved for art and for other interior design works, or for construction purposes, for finishing purposes. Okay, yes, this is the Nairobi Arboretum. It's a nice place to be at, a nice place to really come and just walk, educate yourself on the type of trees that we have here in Kenya. Okay, this is just a sample. 30.4 hectares provides for the correct sample size space for anyone requiring research on our trees. Okay, these are our natural heritage, and it is so important that we may be able to conserve and learn about them, even for the future generations. Of course, I'm trying to point to you to the tree up ahead. It's also a muhogo, and we're also lucky because I believe I can see a label. Yes, that's a label. It's pretty old label, but I hope it still shows what type of tree we are talking about. It's a pretty tall tree, about 25 or 20 meters in height. I'm trying to look for its leaves. Okay, yes, there we go. Yes, there we go, and the camera is good. You can of course see the leaves. You can spot the difference of the leaves. Okay, we are talking about those glossy leaves there. Okay, we can of course see the underneath part, which is of course silvery. That's the most common part about this, the leaves of this tree. Okay, they have a shiny silvery underneath part, but the top part is what? Yes, but the top part is green, and glossy green, by the way. This is the back, as I was saying. You can see, of course, it is fissured. It is narrowly fissured, though longitudinally meaning like that. Let me try and zoom out a bit. We of course have creepers. These are creepers growing on top of the tree. It is our work to remove these creepers. This is how we This is how we make sure we conserve for our trees. Okay, they are of course trying to compete with the tree for nutrients and for sunlight. They grow pretty tall too. But yeah, let us look at the leaves of this beautiful muhogo tree here. Let me try and zoom in. It's pretty dark here. I don't know why. I'm going to look for a smaller Brachyolina hilensis so that we can be able to understand more about it. But yeah, here is the label, guys. Of course, pretty old. Let me just take care so that we don't destroy it. But yeah, you can see the name, of course, is silver oak, Brachyolina hilensis. Yeah, also called muhogo in Kikuyu, called mohoho in Swahili, silver oak in English. It's a good tree with a good number of sample trees from the same species. Okay, it was well planted. We are trying to conserve that tree here into its maturity. Okay, into its maturity. What wouldn't I give to also see such a tree grow into its maturity? Grow into its maturity. You know, let me tell you something. Very soon, in the coming future years, we are going to tell people that we actually used these trees for fuel, for timber, and they can't just picture how. You know, we have come a long way to try, and we've really come a long way as humanity in understanding the role that we play in our environment around us. And to this point that you're seeing me here, holding this camera, talking about the living organisms around me, this natural heritage, okay, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of hard work, not just by me, but even by the people behind me, the people who have made this possible, including the governments out there. They have made it possible that we can conserve our trees, and that such people like me can be employed so that we can ensure that conserving trees is not just in theory, it is also in practical. Yes, we are together. Continue being here. Let me allow myself to also continue supporting more. We are together. Thank you for being here, supporting our number 6 tree. Do not forget to subscribe. This is Kenya African